really want to engage over here. It's just too close to the planetary fortress. If those infestors die, then those Vikings can suddenly take out all your broodlords. So Sen wants to be careful as well.
We see that Sen is getting 3-3 in that very important adrenal glands upgrade, Roddy. Vikings coming out en masse for Thorzain right now. He really wants to be safe against this broodlord tech.
Yeah, well, a lot of orbital commands going up for Thorzain, even though he doesn't really have any mining bases. He mined out that third base. He still has, as I said, quite a bit of minerals. I'm surprised he must have never dropped a mule over here.
Yeah, he'll start dropping mules there sooner or later. A little bit of Hellion harass up at the top of the map. Just going to roast a couple of drones and then make its way up to 12 o'clock. But man, roaches and lings there. It's going to be tough to break with just Hellions.
That surprised me very much actually. Wow. Sen setting up a really big flank. Will be able to clear up those Hellions. I mean, who really has units on this phase of the game? 22 minutes on the north side of the map when basically the entire army of Thorzain is here.
It looks like those are actually forgotten units as they do make their way back to the center and rejoin with Sen's army. But very opportune to have those guys. Sen is that good.
He makes mistakes on purpose.
I make mistakes that help myself. When Sen screws up, he wins games. Yes. Broodlord's moving out across the middle here. A little bit exposed. There's actually nothing defending him, and this mistake is not going to help Sen at all. Every Broodlord going to fall to this focused Viking fire. No, actually 2 or 3 of them will get away. Thorzain very intelligently backing off upon seeing those infestors.
Yep, Thorzain getting a planetary fortress now over here as well on the right side of the map, having control of 2 out of 4 Selnaga watchtowers right now. So his vision is pretty much as healthy as the vision of Sen. Sen does still have a ton of money, but what are you going to spend it on, Sen? We do see an Ultralisk event going up right now. 5 Broodlords once again. But man, Thorzain was really on top of his Viking production, and that's making it so easy for him right
Ultra
now.
Switch can be really good when there's this many Vikings out on there. How many Vikings is it? Oh my god, that's like 18 Vikings. That's 36 supply that is committed to killing Broodlords, and with if Sen were to just throw away a big army and then max out again on Ultras, I question whether or not Thorzain would be able to defend.
Then again, with all those planetary fortresses, it's kind of hard to break those with Ultras, though.
That's true. What do you say? I mean, they do lots of damage to buildings, but with repair and with SCVs surrounding. Oh, Sen managing to clean up this expansion uncontested. That planetary will fall to the Zergling surround. That was basically Thorzain's last mining base. He's still got money in his natural. How's that other thinning as well?
It's quite okay. I mean, Thorzain's going to have quite a bit of money, but this is kind of the backup expand that you eventually want to start mining from. And now he almost secured it already. And having those 2 Selnaga watches as well, it's kind of unnecessary losing a base like that so easily. All he had to do is 1 or 2 tanks in position, and I'm sure that he won't make that mistake again. Wow, Sen, once again, Broodlord's kind of in a position. Where are those infestors, man?
I do not know. 5 Ultralisks in production. And Thorzain's starting to advance his position through the center of the map. Siege tanks and Thors. That one Thor just poking around and looks like he wants to kill a couple Overlords.
This game is like feedback heaven, man. Everything is maxed out on energy.
If only Tyranid Zerg could make High Templar.
Let's not think about that. The nightmare.
One more time, Sen looking like he wants to set up an engagement, throwing down a lot of infested Terrans to soak up some of this tank fire, and here come the roaches, but this just doesn't look like this plan is working out too well.
Beautiful tanker spread right now by Thorzain. Those Vikings dealing a ton of damage. The Queen's just running into the Thors. The Queens are pretty good, but not all that good. Where is Sen's army? Here come the Broodlords, though, and here comes Zerglings and Banelings as well.
And Ultra is going to come crashing out, but Thor's doing well. Upgraded Thors do so much damage. The Ultra's Banelings going to come crushing through, though. Now the Vikings are probably going to be forced to land. And Viking against Ultralisk, that is not, wow, I guess when there's that many. Oh my god.
Nice fungal growth right there. Those Vikings actually not being able to lift up right now.
Oh, they do manage to lift up in time. A couple more fungals going down, but most of those Vikings getting away. The problem is these Vikings just don't add much to this fight now.
He's going to land them once again. Here we go with those Ultras, but it's just so hard to break through those planetary fortresses. Sen losing a few Ultras in the process. He's going to have to be careful as well with his money. Doesn't have all that much anymore, even though he does still have 75 drones, and he has a lot of mining bases, actually.
Excellent job by Thorzain there, just holding strong in the center of the map. Still has those Vikings out. And how many of those Vikings went down, Roddy? It looks like 10 Vikings die, so 8 Vikings left. Banshee's starting to be produced by Thorzain. That's a really interesting and, I think, intelligent thing to start adding here later on.
Sen's still being active, even in this phase of the game, with Overlords trying to get some scouts off. He will spot this planetary fortress as well. Beautiful scout by Sen. He's going to try to send over a few units straight away. I'm not sure if he's going to spend even time now. And wow. That's ridiculous. Wow. I'm afraid to open the income tab.
Well, it's not going to be like that for long, as Sen is sending across a lot of units. Zerglings, Banelings, and Ultralisks. Holy cow, man.
Mules actually have to queue up because
3,500 minerals being mined per minute. Thorzain spotting this, though. I don't think there's going to be any saving this expansion, but more importantly, there's not going to be any saving this Zerg army. It's kind of trapped up here.
Yep, that's definitely trapped. Let's see what Thorzain is going to do about it. Sen does scout, though. He knows that the Thors are there. Baneling's dealing a ton of damage. Planetary will fall. Quite a few of these Ultras went back to yellow.
How awesome would it be if Sen had like a Nidus now to just like exit with Nidus? That'd be so smart.
That would be. Scan goes down. Thorzain wants to make sure if those Ultras are still there. Ventral Sex would have been smart, too.
Thor's going to run forward. Thor's against Ultras. Ultras do great against Thors, but look at how fast they die.
Oh, those Ultras actually doing quite a good job. 3 Thors went down. Oh, wow, burrowing one of the Thors as well. Very cute move during the fight. I don't think Thorzain is aware of that. He could potentially take out those tanks.
Another big Ultraless gaggle moving through the center of the map here. They're going to try to break this expansion once again. Thorzain's going to need to pull SCVs to repair, and that's exactly what he does. Ultralisks, only 2 of them able to attack this command center once. The rest just kind of run around like chickens with their heads cut off. Command center looks like it will eventually fall, though.
Yep, the planetary forces did fall. Sen losing quite a few Ultras, though, but he's doing so much damage. These landed Vikings right now doing quite a bit of damage as well over the top side of the map. Thorzain really making the best out of every unit he has.
Oh man, Thorzain just repairing with these SCVs. Ultras do get turned around here. 143 supply for Thorzain, 175 for Sen. And man, Sen is he's so good at these big macro games, Roddy.
Yeah, he is, but Thorzain is slowly but steady catching up, though. Just a few minutes ago, I actually thought it was starting to look really bad. Sen did just pretty much max out once again. 5 Ultras, 2 Infestors, getting Zerg Flyers attack +2 as well. I'm not sure for what, since there still are so many Vikings, and I don't really think he's going to make Ooh, he's going to have to be careful.
And Thorzain is making Thors like 2 and 3 at a time right now, and it's going to take... It's just going to take a great engagement by Sen. He's going to need a big surround so that all the Ultras can fight at once. It's going to be Thor Banshee.
Oh, Sen. So fast.
Man, that's so annoying. Oh, here we do have another big fight. Ultras going to manage to get in on some of these Thors. SCV's messing with the AI a little bit, though. And Sen going to have to turn around and retreat once more.
So hard for Sen to actually do something really against Thorzain. Thorzain finally going to try to secure this, expand again in the mid-east, basically.
Oh, even dropping some creep there. If Thorzain's going to mine, he's going to have to like, go over to the ramp, long-distance mine. Vikings do come over and pick off that Overlord. Thorzain not realizing that there's a burrowed Zergling there.
Yeah, that's actually very smart right now, because now Thorzain's just going to wait until the creep is gone, and he's still not going to scan straight away, and he's going to have to send units over again. Once again, meanwhile, Sen realizing that units are out of position, he's going to try it once again.
And this is going to be a really effective attack. There's no planetaries here this time, so a lot of SCVs stand to fall. Ultralisks and Zerglings surrounding everything. Oh my god, Thorzain's economy going to take a big hit.
Yep, Thorzain losing a ton of SCVs, and he's kind of broke as well. All those SCVs lining up their Ultras.
Oh my god. The Thor is finally going to come back, but the Ultra's doing really nice splash damage, and the Ultras might actually clean up every one of these Thors. Thorzain supply falling down below 100. Sen still at 160 supply, and Thorzain seems to have lost everything now.
Yep, Thorzain losing pretty much all of his Thors. He's producing 3 at once, though, but that's pretty much all he's going to be able to produce. Only 100 minerals. Those Vikings are still doing a really good job on the top side of the map, but, well, I don't think it's going to be enough.
And the legs are, I see you.
Ultras are like, we come in peace.
Oh, very nice. SCV's loading up into the command center. You don't see that move every day. Vikings do poke across after picking off one more expansion, but Sen is just maxed out. 186 supply to 70. And Thorzain not wanting to tap out just yet, but he is in bad shape.
Yep, here come the Ultras once again. We have 1 siege tank, 2 Thors. This time actually the Thors doing pretty good against the Ultras. But 3 more Ultras coming in. Sen's macro is just phenomenal all the game long. His production tab is producing 6, 7, 8 Ultras, 4 Infestors. He's making Zerglings. He's always making whatever he needs.
Yep, a couple of Vikings landing in the back of Sen's main, trying to take out the Ultraless cavern, realizing that the Ultras are becoming a real thorn in the side. Wow.
11 against 81.
And 11 wins.
It's close, it's close. He's not really outmining.
There's the GG.
Oh.
Sen looking really strong in the late game. 3-1 our score. 1 game away.
Yep, we are playing best of 7, of course. This was a very nice game, though, and I really loved so many things that Thorzain did. I think he really did a lot of stuff right. perhaps a few times Thor's a bit too clumped up because those ultras did a lot of damage and
Thors were really clumped, and I honestly question a little bit the choice to make pure Thor. I think if Thorzain had gone like half Thor, half Siege Tank, that he would have been a lot more effective against those ultras. The Siege Tanks do a lot more damage, even unsieged.
Yeah, he did have quite a few Siege Tanks throughout the entire game, though.
He always had 4 or 5 in the mix, but like 10, 15, I feel like would have made it a lot harder for those ultras.
15
I'm serious.
Siege Tanks.
Max out on pure Siege Tank, then what you gonna do? No, I'm serious. The ultras do pretty well against the Thors because the Thors only do like single target damage.
Yep.
They don't splash anything. They shoot kind of slow. I mean, you saw the ultras can kill Thors very fast.
Yep.
But when there's so many ultras that they're able to close in and get right into the fight.
No, of course, it makes a lot of sense. And the Zerglings in the mix as well, they help out a lot.
Yeah.
And if you have some Siege Tanks, it will be easier to take care of those Zerglings a lot. It will be a lot easier to take care of those Zerglings when they are surrounded by those ultras. Well, we'll see what Thorzain managed to bring up next game. Might be Tal'Darim, might be Shakuras.
Yep. Very, very important map choice here for Thorzain. This is essentially possibly a $4,000 map. It is going to be Crevasse. So Thorzain saving it for a rainy day.
Yep. Well, it's 3-1 right now for Sen, so we could still potentially see the other 2 maps as well.
No, if Thorzain loses. Yeah. But this is Thorzain's last pick.
Yeah.
So instead of going for Shaq, he does choose.
But then
to
it
take
doesn't really
Crevasse.
matter anymore because he's going to have to win all of them anyway.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. So Sen is in the game, just waiting on Thorzain here. Perhaps collecting his thoughts a little bit, saying, what should I do?
Players are in the lobby asking, we're going to ask, of course, if they are ready, and they seem to be ready. So we are going to start this game, perhaps the final map of this third place decider of the NASL Season 2 Grand Finals.
The countdown for the 5th game has begun. Thorzain versus Sen. $4,000 on the line here. 12K for 3rd place, 8K for 4th place. Those clappy balloon things sound really cool.
I know. Gives you a career feeling. Well.
I like it, man. I like it. All right, guys, here we go. Going to introduce our players in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Let's make some noise if you want to see Thorzain bringing it back. And, of course, 1 game away from clinching that 3rd place prize. The Blue Zerg player in the top left-hand corner of the screen, Gamma Bears, Sen. That really sounds cool, man.
It does really.
It's like a rolling thunder across the arena.
So, of course, Sen being at the left top side of the map, and Thorzain being at the left bottom, would you say it's easier for Thorzain to go for a similar push like he did on Shattered, rather than if it would have been cross position there?
Yeah, I think it would be much easier for him to do some kind of tank push in these positions than it would have been cross map. As you can see, he just has to go a relatively short distance through the debris, and he has high ground overlooking Sen's natural expansion. I would really anticipate that Sen takes his hatch first down here on the low ground instead of in the back of his base. He just really needs those 2 gas geysers.
We'll see what Sen is going to do, but his drone is heading out, so that seems to be the case. Refinery is on its way for Thorzain right now, so no funky 2 Rex, no 11-11 Rex for Thorzain this time.
Indeed not. It is hatch first for Sen, and it is on that low ground, so Sen does see, okay, this is close positions, Crevasse. How is he going to choose to play this out as the Zerg player?
Yep, of course, drone trying to be as annoying as possible. It's always already a nice minor victory if your opponent is forced to pull his SCV of the Rex. Even though if it's just a second or 2, it's always nice, because of course, when you delay that Rex, you delay the orbital command, which means that you delay the Mew, and basically everything of the Terran is a little bit off. So even if it's not a big deal, of course, killing an SCV is a relatively big deal. Even forcing one to stop building that Rex is a minor victory.
I gotta say that I'm really surprised that Thorzain takes 2 games off of Morrow using this double reactored factory build and doesn't use it at all against Sen. I don't know, man. I understand that Sen has a reputation for being a roaching player, but if you've got a build that's been working for you, It just surprises me that he hasn't gone to it at all
Yeah, but
in the series.
he did scout Sen all the time, and every time he will see that roach farm, and I guess he's just afraid of committing to it. Because I mean, we did point out as well that if you make so many Hellions and your opponent is actually going to have a nice wall and b a few roaches, then it's just going to be really, really hard for Thorzain to transition into anything that's ever going to be able to really fight the army of Sen.